All the participants are requested to kindly mute yourselves. I request all the participants to keep yourselves muted. Mr. Suresh Santani, please keep yourself muted.
देवेश
identify and had a strategy today.
A very good afternoon to all our participants and our dear resource person for the day 6 of the 1 week online faculty development program on academic research writing and best practices, organized by HSNC boards, KC Law College, University of Mumbai, and Roy Penal Group, a unit of ADGMS. And in collaboration with Guru Angad Dev Teaching Learning Center, Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya National Mission on Teachers and Teaching, Ministry of Education, Government of India. Today, for the 6th day, first session, we have with us Dr. Pyali Chatterjee, Assistant Professor, School of Law, ICFI University, Raipur. Today, ma'am will be talking on the topic research paper writing skills for the beginners and ethics related to it. So, hope ma'am will give you an insight on this topic. And I request Dr. Pyali Chatterjee ma'am to start with her session. And a very warm welcome to you.
Thank you, Dr. Penal Group and HNDC Board, Christian Sriram Law College, University of Mumbai, for giving me this wonderful opportunity to deliver a lecture on research paper writing skills for the beginner and ethics related to it. So nowadays, as we all know, the research has become one of the important parts for academician, not only for securing a higher position in university, but also for acquiring knowledge and for imparting knowledge also. This is important. So before, whenever we talked about research paper writing, the first question is generally which comes in our mind that from where to start the research, how to find a research topic, and from where we can get the research title, research topic or research area, what will be a research area. So the first criteria for writing a research paper is that you must have a habit of reading. It's not just only reading. You should read books, newspaper, even while watching this news also, you can get the research topic for your research paper writing. I always suggest my juniors, even to my students also, and those who are a PhD scholar, that while doing your research or while writing any research paper, you should always focus on the area, or you should always know that in which area, what is the purpose of you should always think that what is your area in which you are interested, because interested areas is really important, because that is the thing which will help you to gain knowledge, particularly for that particular area. For example, if I had a interest in criminal law, then I will always focus in that area. Okay, what are the new things, or what are the things where the law is, where there is a drawback, or there is a loophole in law, or there is a need of certain enactment. So that is the reason I ask everyone that you should always have a habit of reading, watching news, reading newspaper, journals, many things, and don't limit your this literature review, you can say, or reading material in a limited scope. Try to read as much as you can, because that is the area, or that is the thing from where you can get a research topic. For example, few days back, while doing research in surrogacy, somewhere I have read about this PSR, that is posthumous sperm retrieval. That is one of the law which is actually that has been enacted in some part of that is enacted in Australia, that is used in Australia and some these Arabian countries also, like in Iran also you can find this such kind of law. But here, talking to Indian law, still now we don't have any such law. Because whenever we talked about surrogacy, assisted reproductive technology bill, or this act, we always talked about surrogate mother, egg donor, but no one easily talks about this topic. So how we can get such kind of unique topic? That is possible only when you had a habit of reading. And while writing research paper, another important part is that always try to write research paper in unique topic. Because at the end, whenever we have published our paper, after writing the paper, after giving that much of effort, our first motive is that our research paper should be read by most of the people. Because when the public, when they will read our research paper, in that case, we will get the recognition. And how we will get it? When we will choose unique topic. For example, if everyone is doing research in surrogacy, then after some time, no one will get interest to read your or my paper. Because they will think, oh, what else, what new they have written? Already we know about the surrogacy. But the moment when you have chosen something which is related to surrogacy, but that is a new topic. For example, PSI, posthumous sperm retrieval, that is a new topic that is connected to surrogacy also. Because this is a process where the sperm is retrieved from a dead body, dead person. Because after the death of this person, also sperm is one of the part which is actually not dead. So within 24 or 48 hours, if that is retrieved from the body, then that can be used in this IVF. So this is a one area.
RP 168 டாக்டர் பிரேம்குமார். சரிங்க. ஓகே. நான் சிஸ்டர் இருந்தாரு. Thank you. 3 ஐட்டம் சொல்லியிருந்தாரு. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Thank you. Sign பண்ணுமா? Thank you.
So that is the reason you should always choose some unique topics so that the public or the readers they can read your paper. That it must be attractive so that others can get the interest to read your article. And another important thing is that while writing your research paper, whatever query is coming in your mind, just write it down, because that query will help you to do further research, and that will help you while writing a research paper, while constructing, while developing the research paper also. So whatever query, whether it's a minor also, you should always write it somewhere. That will ultimately help you for writing your research article. And in that case, I always ask everyone that your mind should be like an investigation officer. Because what the police officer they do, once they get any complaint, they used to investigate it. Unless and until the case gets solved, they used to do the investigation. The same thing you have to apply for a research paper also. If you have chosen any topic, if you have get any topic where you can write a research paper, then whatever queries are in your mind, you should write it down and you should solve every query. Unless and until every query is solved, it means that your research is complete related to that particular topic. But if there is a scope of any doubt, any research, then don't close your article. Complete the query, every research, complete every research, whatever leading to a query that is what's in your mind. And once you think that I have already completed all the things, what was in your mind, then you can start the research paper writing. But before that, this is all the homework which you have to do. If you want to write a good quality research paper, then believe me, before writing that paper, you should give at least 1 to 2 months for a literature review. A good quality research paper needs time. Even if you want to write a paper, that you can write it in 1 day also. But that is not a good quality. But if you want a good quality paper, give your time for reading, give your time for literature review. And whatever queries you are having, just deal it. You have to deal your queries with your own skill, and that is through research only. Another thing important is that many times during the I don't know how many of you are preparing for PhD exams. Many times this interview panel, they will ask you, what is the novelty? What is new in your research? Because at the end, any university, if they will give a seat for the PhD, then they will want to know that from your research, from your thesis, what the others will get the benefit of it. What is new in your topic? Because if everyone does research in same topic, then no one will get the benefit, no one will get interest of it. So try to acquire, try to do something new always. So that is the reason I have given some of the example like PS, even necrophilia. Necrophilia is one of the important topic also where there is a lot of scope of research. Necrophilia is an act where a person does sex with a dead person. And if you talk about IPC, only there is one provision, that is section 297, which deals about necrophilia, but that is also not directly. And the punishment is also very less. So there is a need of research, or in particularly in law field when it talks about necrophilia, because if you go for forensic study, there you will find there is a necrophilia chapter also in the forensic book. But coming to this Indian Penal Code, you will hardly find any research on it. So these are some of the topics where you can do the research paper, research writing, or where you can do the research. Now, once when you are done with a literature review, Now, when you think that, okay, now I am ready to write a research paper, the first point is that whatever material you are having, whatever things you have read for a particular topic, for example, for necrophilia, I'm going to write a research paper on necrophilia. The first thing will be that for my research paper, we have to give a title of it. Because, and one more thing, your title should be like that, but which will attract the readers to read your paper. So whenever you are framing any title, you should always be peculiar about, you should be cautious about the framing of the title and how you are framing. It should not be lengthy. It should be short, unique, and you are not supposed to use any kind of abbreviation in your title. But there are certain key points which you can use. For example, if you are doing any kind of social legal study, so there you can use a social legal study, a medical legal study, a critical study. And if you are doing the methodology which you have used, that is of empirical work, in that case, you can use analysis term in your title. Because when you use the term analysis in your title, it says that you have used empirical work, you have used empirical method for your research paper writing. If you are using doctrinal, non-empirical method, then don't use analysis term in your title. Because it's very important that from a research paper, others should know about the methodology which you have used. So that is the reason I'm telling that wherever you are framing your title, from that title itself, it should speak about the research methodology which you are going to use or which you have used. So if you are doing empirical work, then you can keep the term analysis for your title. If you are doing doctrinal research, in that case, you can simply use study, critical study, nothing else. So once you are done with your title, the next part is abstract. Now, if you are a beginner, for first time if you are writing a paper, in that case, you should not start with abstract, because abstract is the precise form of your research paper. Whatever research you have done, whatever research paper you have written, abstract is the precise form of it. During my time, when I start doing this research paper writing, at that time, I'm talking about this 2013-14. During that time, usually every journal they used to ask that you can send this abstract within 500 words. But now, if you go for reputed journal, for example, Elsewhere, Springer, or Telegram Francis, now they will ask you to send your or to write your abstract within 150 words. Now you can think that within 150 words, you have to express your entire research paper. And that abstract is really important, because that is the gist from where others will know that what research you have done. Whether your research paper will be important for them or not. Because no one is going to read your research paper first to check whether the research paper will be helpful for your research work or for your curricular, any kind of curricular work or not. So abstract is one of the important part of the research paper, and it is an important part of the research article also. And important and how to write it. So first, you have to complete your research paper. Once you are done with your research paper, then you have to write the abstract. And for now, also, you generally suggest that don't go for a lengthy abstract. Try to sum up your abstract within 300. And in that 300, you have to explain that why, what is the importance of this research, why you have chosen this research, where is the drawback, and what is your finding in this particular research. So this is the thing which you have to write in your abstract. And in many reputed journals, you will see that now they have done the bifurcation also. While submitting your abstract, you have to write the purpose of your study, the research methodology, your finding. So you can do such kind of bifurcation while writing the abstract also. That is also a standard practice also. You can write it somewhere also that while writing the abstract, you can put subheading in it like purpose of the study, research methodology, and finding. So in this way, you can complete your abstract. but try to write your abstract only when your research paper is complete, or if you are confident enough that whatever you have read, from that you can easily write the abstract, and after that you can start writing a research paper, then it's fine. But for that you must be confident that whatever material you have read, in that you can write the abstract, and try to sum up it within 300, not more than that. And if you know that in which particular journal you are going to submit, then check the journal site first, and then you can start the research paper writing and abstract writing also. Now, once you are done with your title, your abstract, now actually after that, you have to give 5 or 6 keywords for your research paper. Now, how to write this keywords paper? For example, if I am writing a research paper on necrophilia, so necrophilia will be one of these key terms, because this key term is important, keyword is important, because through this keyword, if someone, for example, for some XYZ, they are also supposed to write on paper on necrophilia, and they want to know who are the person who has done research on necrophilia. They want to know the journal, or they want to go through some research paper. In that is what they will do. In Google, they will type necrophilia, and by Google search only they will get the material. So you should always choose keywords or key term in such a way that if someone is going to search that key term, then your paper should be reflect. Your paper should get reflect in that. So that is the reason whenever you are writing this keyword, you should be cautious, and you should choose always those keywords which you have repeatedly used in your this research paper. The terms or the words which repeatedly you have used in your research paper, that should be your keyword, and keyword should be always like that. It can be easily available in the Google, or it can be easily searchable also. After the keyword, another important part is the methodology. You should always discuss, you should always write about the methodology, that what method you have chosen for your research. Particularly when you are doing the empirical work, in that methodology is important. Because the audience, they want to know that what method you have, because that's the way to know about the authenticity of your research work. So particularly whenever you are conducting any kind of empirical work, you are doing empirical work, in that case, you should always write the methodology.
Hi, Lefty.
And in case, if you are taking interview method, I'm requesting all of the person. Hello.
अच्छा लगा सर मुझे कल आपका ना, तो हम लोग को सबको ना इमोशनली बहुत अच्छा लगा.
हेलो,
आप ऐसा एकदम इमोशनली छोटे भाई की तरह, और वो तेल का आइडिया बहुत अच्छा लगा सर. हाँ, क्यों जहाँ पे प्रेम होता है ना सर, वही झगड़ा होता है. हाँ, पर बहुत अच्छा लगा वो कंसेप्ट, में तो अच्छा लगा.
Please mute yourself. So methodology is important, because from that others will be able to know about the authenticity of your research, and it is advisable to everyone. For nowadays, particularly nowadays, you should always try to do empirical work, because while doing empirical work, many of the international journals, and if I talk about Elsevier Springer, they generally prefer articles where you have done some kind of empirical work, because that actually gives the authenticity. It doesn't mean that if you're not using any kind of empirical work, your paper will not be authentic. It's not like that. But using empirical method, it will be like an additional benefit for you. That is the reason it's advisable for everyone that you should try to use empirical method while writing your research paper. The next part is the acknowledgement. So if you have chosen interview method for your empirical work, empirical method, in that case, you should always give the acknowledgement, because that is the only part where we can give our respect, or we can pay our homage to the person who has given the valuable time to you for writing a research paper. So acknowledgement is equally important like research methodology. So if you have chosen interview method, or if there is any method where you have taken the help of some person, in that case, you should always acknowledge that person for in your paper. Now, after doing acknowledgement, from the next part is the introduction. Actually, from introduction only, your research paper actually starts. That is the first part of your research paper is the introduction. So what you are supposed to do in introduction, you should always introduce your topic in introduction. If you are planning or if you are doing research on necrophilia, so you should explain what necrophilia means. What is the drawback in it? Why Necrophilia Act should make the punishable offense and there should be a separate provision in IPC, or there should be a separate act for necrophilia. So that is the introduction part. You should always introduce your topic to the reader through introduction. And your introduction should be well written, because that is a part, that is a background study also. If you those who are preparing for a PhD, your introduction will be like your background of your synopsis. When you are submitting your synopsis, you are supposed to write the background. So what actually background is? Background is basically the introduction. So while writing research paper, we use the term introduction in a research paper. And if you are writing synopsis for a PhD entrance or for PhD, there it will be like background. So always try to introduce a topic in the introduction in a well manner so that the readers, they will be able to understand your topic. It's not necessarily that always a law background or a law professor, a law student, they will only read your research paper. Maybe a person from sociology, person from medical science, they may also read your paper. So you should always use an easy language so that the others can get the knowledge, or others can well acquainted with your introduction or well acquainted with your topic. So once you are done with your introduction, now in my previous slide, I have said that write down whatever queries is in your mind. So after doing the introduction, for example, necrophilia. If you're writing research paper necrophilia, you have done the introduction part. The next part will be that, is there any drawback or drawback in Indian Penal Code? That can be a second heading. That can be a subheading for a research paper where you have to discuss about the drawback of IPC. Or it can be like a after writing this drawback, what you can do, the next subheading will be that, is there any countries where Necrophilia Act has been put in the penal code as a punishable offense? It can be like a comparative study. Next, you can write about any cases. Still now, if in India there is any cases where necrophilia has been discussed, or where the court has discussed about the drawback of current Indian Penal Code, but because of this drawback, the accused, they are getting less punishment. That can be heading. You can put such kind of heading in a research paper, subheading in a research paper. So all these subheading can be written from the queries whatever you had in your mind while choosing your topic. So that is the reason I have asked that whatever queries you are having in your mind, you should always write it down, because that will help you to frame you the subheading of your research paper. Once you think that you have covered all the queries in the form of research subheading, it means that you are done with your research paper. And those who are preparing a synopsis, many times your guide or your senior team, they might have said that you should always write research question. In synopsis, research question is also one of the important parts. And you have to frame chapterization, you have to frame the chapters according to the research question. So here in research paper writing, the queries, whatever you are having in your mind, that is actually the research question. That is actually the research question. And on the basis of that research question, you can put the subheading. Because in PhD, you have to put the chapterization, but in research paper writing, you have to put subheading for your research paper. And whatever research you have done for that particular research question and query, that you have to put in the subheading. So by this, you can frame the body of your research paper. So once you are done with the research, everything, now you have done everything. The next important part is the suggestion. Many times I have seen that I am the reviewer of many international and national journals also, and I have found that many times even the faculty and even the students, what they used to do, they used to write suggestion and conclusion at a time. Don't do this. Try to put separate heading for suggestion and separate heading for conclusion. Always try to write suggestion in point wise. Avoid paragraph. You should always try to write suggestion, always give suggestion in point wise. Don't use paragraph. Once you are done with your suggestion, then you can conclude your paper. And your conclusion should be, it should be your own words. It should be not like that he has said or he has done this thing, so I feel the researcher feel that such kind of thing can be done. Don't use such kind of thing. Whatever you have done till now, please suggestion, whatever you have done, whatever material you have written, just conclude your research paper from your own words and nothing else. Once you are done with your conclusion, then you should go for the reference. But reference is something which depends upon the journal where you are about to send your paper for publication. Because most of the time, many journals, they don't ask for reference. They just want footnotes. And a footnote is one of the part which will also help you to avoid the plagiarism that I am going to discuss in my next slide also. So this is all about the research paper writing. So in case if any particular journal they ask for reference, then you have to put reference after the conclusion suggestion. And if it's not required, then conclusion is the last heading for your research paper. But there are many journals who used to ask that whether you have get any firm or there is any conflict of interest. It is something separate heading, which is particularly asked by the journal. So if any journal asks about it, you have to simply write the heading in that and you have to give the information relating to it. So this is all about the structure of article writing and how you should start your research paper writing and how to conclude it. Now, my next slide is about ethics in writing. This is also very much important because many times while writing research paper, we simply do the copy paste. Now you will think that yes, for putting any legal provision, we simply do the copy paste. How it can be plagiarism? I'm not talking about the section which you are putting in your research paper, because whatever the section has been mentioned, you have to write it accordingly like that. That is not the plagiarism. Plagiarism is what? When you are taking the material of someone else and you are mentioning in your paper without quoting that particular person, without giving a proper citation of the particular material. Simply in layman language, it's a copy paste of some other work in your work. That is plagiarism. So how to avoid plagiarism? The simple thing is that you have to give proper citation. Citation means you can say the footnote, because once, for example, you have taken some material from one of the book. Maybe there in one of the book, for example, in IPC, Kedigod, necrophilia has been defined there. So you have written a definition from Kedigod book. So you have to give the citation also. That from this particular book, you have get the information related to this. And while writing research paper, it doesn't mean that every time you have to take material from someone else. You should, whatever someone has given the definition, you should analyze it from your own thinking. Your mind might be, your intellectual may be different from other person. Maybe some XYZ has given a definition from necrophilia, but whatever literature you have done, from there you have find something different. Your view is something different from the literature view. So you have to give your thinking in that particular research. That will be research. That will be real meaning of research. Whatever you are writing in your own words, that is actually research. Don't follow blindly what others are saying. They are writing the research paper with their own ideology. Maybe your ideology is different. So put your ideology in your own words. That is actually required. That is the important part of research. You should not blindly follow whatever the others are saying. Maybe your research, maybe your findings will be different. But the thing is that whatever you are writing in your research paper, you must have a basis of it. You must have a base of it. You cannot write anything randomly without any proof. If you are writing something, then you must have to prove it. And how you can prove it? You can prove it with the help of the literature review. Maybe in one of the books, it is says that necrophilia is an act where the person does sex with a dead person. But in another medical book or in another book, it is stated that necrophilia is an act where a person not only does a sex with a dead person, but if he had a fantasy or if while looking at a dead body, he just want to send, or he just want to feel the this you can say some kind of thing from the dead body. So this can be a different thing which you are getting from different book. So that you can write that in one of the book this has been written, but in this book the definition has been given this way. So in my opinion, necrophilia can be act where the person is doing this thing. So that is the finding, that is the research of you. That is the research work which you have done from the literature review. So you should always try to write your own analysis in your research also. Don't blindly follow what others have said. Your ideology, your thinking might be different, and that you have to put in your research work. And for that, it's always important to use or to use citation also, give citation by citation. And that is all that you can do by putting footnotes. And while discussing citation, while discussing footnote, every journal has a certain format of it. If we talk about Indian journal, we generally follow ILI. Even Blue Book is also there. And if you go for this foreign journal, they will ask for APA style. If you are going to publish a paper in medical journal, they will ask for a Vancouver style. So every journal had their particular format for referencing, for citation. So you have to check that, and according to that, you have to put the citation. You have to choose from the journal only. But one thing which is important to discuss here that many times while referencing others' work, whether in ILI form, whether in Blue Book form, many times it happens that we never follow the accurate citation style. Because when you give a proper citation to someone's work, in that case, the other person, he will get the benefit of it. If you are using, for example, if I am using citation of K.D. Gaur, I have used this K.D. Gaur book in my research paper, and I have given a footnote for it. So what the K.D. Gaur will get benefit of it? They will get a citation for this particular work which I have cited in my paper, and that citation is actually important in academic growth also. Many of you are aware of this Google Scholar citation. What is that actually? Google Scholar citation means that whatever research paper you have published, whether your paper has been cited by someone, how many citations you are having in your research paper, and how you will get a citation only when your paper has been referred by someone in their research paper. And for that also it is important, they should actually give a proper citation to you. Because many times while reading the paper, I have seen that not only the students, the faculty members also do the same mistake. They don't follow the proper citation format. And because of their mistake, the person whose work you are referring, they are not getting the citation of it. They are not getting the credit of it. Maybe in plagiarism, there is no, you are doing your job. Your paper will not be plagiarized. But the person whose work you are citing, they are not getting the credit of it. So that is why it is important that whenever you are referring someone's work in your research paper, you should always give a proper citation of it. It hardly takes a few minutes to write one proper citation. So whatever method you are following, whether it's ILI, whether it's Blue Book, whether it's APA, you should always try to follow the proper citation format. Nowadays, you can find that there are many online citation generators also. You can use that also for giving reference for your article. For even though if it's footnotes, in that case also you can use the online generator, citation generator. For reference also you can use the online citation generator. That will also help you. In that also, it will not only help you for this for your time saving, but from that you can get the accurate citation format also. For APS and Blue Book you can get it, but for ILI I don't think that there is an online citation generator. But for Vancouver, for APS or Blue Book you will get it. Now, as I said that citation format, reference, it totally depends upon the journal to journal. So once you have written your paper, you should search your journal, that in which journal you will submit your paper, and according to that, you can frame your research paper. It's not always possible that while writing research paper, you are aware of the journal, in this particular journal you are going to submit your paper. It's not always possible, but in many times it happens that there are many call for book chapter, call for research paper, where they usually ask that first you have to submit your abstract. If your abstract is selected, then only you can send your research paper. So if the case is like that, in that case, you know about the journal or you know about the book where you are going to submit your paper. So there you will get the details. Okay, you have to follow this pattern for a footnote. You have to follow this pattern for a reference. So you can start the research paper according to that. But if you don't know that in which journal you are going to publish a paper, you can simply use any of the citation style. You can simply use any citation style, because after completing it only, you can reframe according to the journal and you can submit it. Yeah, it's true that many times we have to do the same work 2 or 3 times. It's not necessary that the journal in which you have submitted a paper, they will accept it. Maybe they may reject your paper. So then again, you have to submit it in some other journal. Maybe that journal has a different citation format. They will ask you to change your citation again. So in that case, again you have to do it. So it's a time-taking process, but don't lose your patience, because this is something where you have to give your time. You have to take patience also. But ultimately, it's so hard work. So whenever you are writing your research paper, just check the journal in which you can submit it. Another important thing is that whenever, for example, for any particular legal provision, you are taking as it is from any book, or not only legal provision. For example, you are taking some definition, someone has quoted some statement and you want to put it in as it is in your research paper. So always try to put it in double quotation, because double quotation means that you have taken this matter as it is. So it's a rule that whenever you are taking any matter directly from any particular sources, you used to always try to put that matter in double quotation. And the thing which you should keep in your mind while writing a research paper is that you should read again and again for any material, whatever you are taking for a research paper. Because once you read the paragraph again and again while writing in a research paper, you can find that your language will get changed. So it's important that to avoid plagiarism, not only for your research paper writing, for your synopsis writing, for your PhD thesis also. It's very important that you should read the material again and again. Once you are done with this research paper article also, you should always read it again and again, because while reading it, you will think that, okay, I have written this paragraph in this way, but this can be written in this way also. And you will find that at the end of the day, when you will read it again and again, your chapter, your paper will look different from the one which you have first prepared it. It will be different from your first draft. So that is also one of the important parts to avoid the plagiarism. Another important thing is that many times it happens that we use the free tool which is available in the this Google, or which is available to use for doing a paraphrase. Don't use such kind of paraphrase tool, because while using that paraphrase, whenever you put some paragraph in that tool, you will find that they actually made the paragraph very messy. You will, while reading that paragraph, you will find that someone has used this tool. So try to avoid such kind of tool. Use your own mind, use your own intellectual to write your research paper. Don't go for this online available tool. Because those who are expert in this field, while reading a paper, they will be able to know that whatever matter you have written, that has been paraphrased from particular sources. And many times it happens also that while using the this tool, your matter gets stored actually there. So don't use such kind of tool. It may take some time. You give that time, but you do it your own self. And another thing which you should keep in your mind is that while doing the paraphrasing, you should not change the actual meaning of the paragraph. Paraphrasing doesn't mean that you should change the meaning of the paragraph. Paraphrasing means that whatever the meaning of the paragraph is, you have to write it in the same way, but the wording might be different. So don't change the real meaning from while doing the paraphrase. You should keep all these things in your mind. And I'm requesting everyone that whenever you are writing any research paper, please use a proper citation format and give proper citation to whatever material you are taking from somewhere. Always give a proper citation. It's not only important for you, but it's equally important for the other person also whose work you are referring in your research paper. Now, once you are done with the research paper, you have followed all the ethics which is required in a research paper writing. The next part, that is the important part, is the publication. Because that is something which we all want. And it is also one of the headache of every research scholar faculty, that where to publish our research paper, how to publish it. Because at the end, the real benefit we will get only once our research paper gets published in a reputed journal. The first thing which you should keep in your mind while publishing your work is that the journal where you are sending a research paper, that should be peer review. Peer review means the paper which you are sending there, they should send it to some reviewer to give you the feedback that whether your paper is suitable for that particular journal or not. So they must have an expert member, editorial member, who can check your paper whether your paper is suitable for the particular journal or not. So that is the reason now UGC also says that you should always publish your paper in a peer review journal. And if you are in academics, then you should always publish your paper in UGC index journal or Scopus index journal. So indexing is equally important. The first thing which you have to check in any journal is that whether that particular journal is a peer review journal or not, whether it is indexed in UGC or Scopus or not. Because if you want API score, if you go for this academic growth, in that case, it is advisable that you should publish your paper in UGC or Scopus index journal. But after this 2018, but there are many university journals also which are reputed, which are peer review also, but they are not UGC or Scopus index. It doesn't mean that if you publish your paper, you will not get the benefit of it. Definitely, API score you will get the benefit of it. But if you want to go for private university job, in that case, they will ask you for the Scopus. So generally, it advisable to everyone that you always try to publish your paper in UGC or Scopus index journal. Excuse me. So after the indexing, the next important part for a journal is that whether it has the impact factor or not. Nowadays, earlier in many this website, you will find that impact factor is given by so and so source. But now, wherever you will apply for any job, or if you go for the API score, even in the website also, UGC website, you will find that they will consider the impact factor which is given by the Thomson-Reuters. Now you will think that what does this impact factor means? Impact factor means that the journal where you are going to publish your paper, okay, how many citations they had in last 2 years, how many citations and how many publications they have done. So there is a formula on the basis of which you can calculate the impact factor. But nowadays, now UGC has says that they will consider the impact factor which is given by Thomson-Reuters, because the impact factor which is given by Thomson-Reuters will be considered to be as authentic. So you should always try to go for a journal whose impact factor has been given by Thomson-Reuters. But there are many UGC index journals. For example, if you go for this Mohali Army Law School, they had a UGC index journal. There you will not find any kind of impact factor. It doesn't mean that if the impact factor is not there, you will not get the API score. It's not like that. You will get the API score of it, but if it has the impact factor given by Thomson-Reuters, in that the score will be high. But if it doesn't have the impact factor, it's okay, fine. You will get the mark according to it. So don't panic if there is any journal which you have already published, but there the impact factor is not given by Thomson-Reuters. Don't panic for it. Whatever score is given in the UGC website, you will get according to that. But yeah, for your future, try to publish a research paper in those journals where the impact factor has been given by Thomson-Reuters, because there you will get the score high. Now the next important thing is that I don't know how many of you has ever faced the pituitary journal. This is also one of the issue behind the UGC also. It's also one of the issue for the research scholar and for the academics also. That how we can check the journal whether it's authentic or not. So there are many website is there. For example, I have mentioned one of the website here, that is Be All List. Is one of the list where is one of the sites where you will get the list of the pediatric journal, and every time they used to update it, we will find all the journals which is where the people give money for publication, and they used to attract this researcher in terms of say that we are a super syndic journal, we are a website journal, you have to pay this much of money and it will get published. Beware of such kind of journal. Believe me, whenever you publish your paper in a reputed journal, it will take minimum I am telling you, minimum 3 to 4 months for giving you first review. If someone is telling you that, okay, to give this much of amount within 24 hours, you will get the review. No, it's not possible. It's not possible to get the first review within 24 hours. Even there are many minute things which you can keep in your mind while going or while searching any journal. Whenever you are searching any journal for your research paper publication, just go to the contact list, and there you search whether the contact details of the editor is given or not, whether editorial board members details has been given with name, with email ID. And if anywhere it is written that within 24 hours you will get the details, don't send your articles there. It's your hard work. Because if you publish your paper in pediatric journal, you are not going to get any benefit of it. Because pediatric journal is like that. Today it's there, tomorrow it can be nowhere in the Google also. So don't try to check the journal where you are going to publish your paper. With these minor details, contact list, search the contact details. In contact details, whether you are getting the details of the editor-in-chief, whether the mail ID of the particular person is given or not, contact number is there or not. Then you go to check for the editorial board members, whether the proper details of editorial members have been given or not. Then you check for aims and objective, aims and scope of the journal also. Because there are many pediatric journals which publish all kinds of paper in it. That is the important part. You should always try to check the aims and scope of the journal also. Whether a journal where you are sending a paper that has a particular aim and scope or not. Even many pediatric journals, if you check in the UGC site, it is written that this particular journal is published in hard copy. But in pediatric form, you will find that the pediatric journal, they are publishing it online. That is also one of the things which you can check from UGC site and from that particular source from where you are getting details of the journal. But whether the actual journal which is mentioned in the UGC, just check it whether that particularly published paper in hard copy form or online. And the site where you are about to send your paper, just check it whether the ISN number, ESN number is there or not. Because these are the minor things which will help you to prevent you to do the mistake which others do. And don't submit your paper by giving money to a third party. Please, it's your hard work. Try to publish your paper in a reputed journal who doesn't charge anything. But yeah, there are many journals, many super simple journals out there who charges money from the scholar. It's not like that. Only this pediatric journal they used to take money. If you want to publish your paper in open access journal, Springer, they also charges money, but that is written in the website that this much of money will be charged from you if your paper gets selected for publication. But pediatric journal, they will never disclose their charges in their website. They will send remuneration according to the author. Maybe if I send any paper in this pediatric journal, they will ask me 50,000 money. My friend will send paper to them, they will ask me 15,000. Their rate will be different then. But in any website, if it is clearly written that once a paper gets selected, then only you have to pay this much of equity, that is fine. But beware from this third party. who approach you through social media, through mail also, that we are publishing this journal, and within 24 hours after submission, you will get the review result. Be aware of all these things. Now, the another thing is that how to find this journal for your research paper. You can go to elsewhere, you can go to Springer, Sage. There you will find the option Journal Finder. So what you have to do, after writing your research paper, you can simply copy your abstract and you can paste in the Journal Finder. Once you paste this abstract there, then the website, whether it's elsewhere, whether it's Springer, they will give you the list of journals where you can send your research paper. That is the genuine way to search journal for your research work. In this way, you can search genuine journal where you can send your research paper without falling in the hand of predatory journal. So these are some of the tips which you should follow after writing your research paper. Because it's a hard work, because you are giving your time, you are giving your energy, you are dedicated for this work from last more than a month. And believe me, if you want to write a research paper, give at this much of time that at the end, there should not be any scope of doubt. Give that much of time for your research work. Your research should be a quality one. If you give a quality work, definitely you will get the benefit of it. How you will get the benefit of it? You can get the benefit of it through Google citation. Because once the other, they will start following your work, they will start referring your work, you will get the benefit of it. You will get the citation of it. That will help you in your promotion also. That will help you for recognition also. So whatever these tips, whatever I have discussed right now, please follow it so that you can get a good reputed journal for your research work. And there are many sites also where you can get the details of the journal, like Law of Papers is there, Knowledge Stick is there. They used to give update of this call for paper, call for research paper, presentation, book chapter, everything. IGI Global site is the IGI Global publisher is there. You can check their website also for any call for paper, for book chapter. Sage is also there. You can check their site directly for finding any information relating to your work, whatever you have done. So by going to this website also, you can check that what other this call for paper is there which is related to your work, or where you can submit your research paper, or if there is any call for paper where you are interested to write your paper, you can do it. So try to visit all these sites. Don't blindly search in Google, because if you blindly search in Google, definitely you will get lots of creative journals. And whatever method I have discussed you can follow it just to find out whether the journal is a predatory or the authenticated. So this was the lecture about my topic today. Now, in case if you have any query, you can ask me or you can send me a mail also.
Those participants who have any query on this session, they can directly unmute themselves and ask the questions.
Yeah, Khosrow, you can ask the question.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, madam.
Yeah, hello.
नमस्ते.
नमस्ते.
प्लेगरिज्म के पेपर के बारे में peer review पेपर के बारे में आपने जो बताया उसकी थोड़ी दोबारा जानकारी दीजिए.
या खसरो जी, अगर आप अभी यूजीसी के साइट चेक करेंगे, 2018 का जो आपका नियम है, नोटिफिकेशन आया, उसमें ये कहा गया है कि आप जो भी पेपर आप पब्लिश करते हैं वो आपका पीयर रिव्यू जर्नल में होना चाहिए. पीयर रिव्यू मतलब होता है, आप बहुत बार देखो कि ब्लाइंड पीयर रिव्यू भी वर्ड यूज किया जाता है, ब्लाइंड पीयर रिव्यू, जहां पे आपको बोला जाता है कि आप जर्नल में जब अपना पेपर सबमिट कर रहे हैं, आपको एक टाइटल पेज सबमिट करना है जिसमें आपका पेपर का टाइटल और आपको सिर्फ अपना ऑथर का डिटेल्स डालना रहता है. और दूसरा जो पेपर आप सबमिट कर रहे हैं जर्नल में, उसमें सिर्फ और सिर्फ आपका टाइटल, आपका एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, आपका पूरा पेपर का जो बॉडी है वो होना चाहिए, ऑथर डिटेल्स नहीं होना चाहिए. एक्चुअली पीयर रिव्यू में होता क्या है, आप जैसे ही उस पेपर को सबमिट करते हो, जर्नल क्या करेगा, आपका वो पेपर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल आपने क्रिमिनल लॉ से रिलेटेड अपने लिए पेपर लिखा है जो आपने सबमिट किया है पेपर को पब्लिश करने के लिए. व्हाट द जर्नल विल डू, द जर्नल विल सेंड दैट पेपर टू द एक्सपर्ट ऑफ क्रिमिनल लॉ. वो क्या करेंगे, आपके पेपर को क्रिमिनल लॉ के जो एक्सपर्ट होंगे उनके पास भेजेंगे, ये देखने के लिए कि आपका जो पेपर है वो जर्नल के लिए सूटेबल है कि नहीं. जो जर्नल का जो एम्स एंड स्कोप है या आपने जो भी लिखा है, ठीक है, उससे जर्नल को या पब्लिक को कोई बेनिफिट होता है कि नहीं, उसके लिए वहां पे भेजा जाता है. इसी को बोला जाता है पीयर रिव्यू प्रोसेस.
जी ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है. थैंक यू मैम.
या Naren Rao ji, please tell me some website how to check or know my present work is already done or not. Naren Rao sir, hello. Hello, Naren Rao sir, are you here? Will it be possible
Yes,
for you to explain your question at what you want to ask?
Hello.
Hello, yes sir. Hello, yes sir.
Hello. Namaste, madam.
Namaste sir.
Madam, please tell me some websites how to know present my work is already done. Any else?
Okay, you want to know that whether your work has been referred by someone else or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, for that, what those who are academics here or those who are a research scholar here, if you have published a single paper here, then please make a ID in Google Scholar. Please write it down, Google Scholar. I am writing here in the chat box also. It's Google Scholar site. If you want, I can show you here also. Just to give me 1 minute. I'm showing you how it looks. Just give me 1 minute. I'm sharing screen once again. I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is the Google site. This is the Google Scholar citation page. Okay, so you have to make this page for your own. For that, what you have to do, you have to go to the Google and there you have to search for Google Scholar citation site. Okay, once you enter the site, you have to give the details. Okay, once you give the details, then your page will be like, your name will be here, your specialization, your affiliation will be here. Okay, and then you will find this option here, title, and this box is here. Okay, so you have to click this page and you have to add articles manually. So whatever publication you had till now, okay, you have to update it here. One by one, you have to update here. So once you update your research paper here in Google Citation, okay, so whenever the others will use a research article for their work, you will get a notification of it. Like for me right now, I had 35 citations for my research work. I know this is also very less in terms of my experience, but yeah, because many times it happens that I know that there are many papers where my paper has been cited, but that is not reflected in my Google Scholar. Because the citation, the format what the others have used, that is not an accurate format. They have not given the proper citation for my research work, because of which I am not getting the citation here. So this is the way from where you will be able to know about your citation. I hope I am able to give you the answer. Naren Rao sir?
Yes, madam. I can understand, madam.
Okay, so please you check the website and you open your site also. Open your Google Scholar account.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I was just reading Mr. K. Narayan Rao's comment, and I don't know whether if he's asking whether if you decide to do research on a particular topic, if somebody has already done on that topic extensively.
Okay. Please let me check what he is asking. Let me check one second.
Just above Google Scholars site you posted, just above that.
Yeah, you can search it in the Google Scholar also. That information also you can get it from Google Scholar, or even you can get the research from Law Review. When you, for example, if you're doing in a necrophilia, okay, so in Google, what you have to search? Law Review plus necrophilia. Because if you write Law Review plus necrophilia, if there will be any research work maybe to the necrophilia, you will get the information in that also. That is also one of the way to get research work for a topic, particularly where you are interested to do. Law review plus that particular topic where you want to do the research. Hello?
Ma'am, is there some kind of a, when we are quoting or citing some text, and as you said, we have to put it in double inverted commas, the length to which, is an ideal length, or you can't just...
Generally, we suggested that, for example, if you are writing a thesis, there is also that this much of thing only you can refer in double quotation. So while writing a research paper hardly of how many pages? Maximum you used to write 5,000 or 7,000 word limit. That will be near about 20 pages. Okay. So you should always try to minimize the use of the quotation. You can use double quotation only where it is actually important to use it.
Right.
Because it totally depends upon the journal. That what plagiarism tool they are using to check your paper and how much they are going to accept. This double quotation also. That is the reason I always ask that try to use your own words for writing. Whenever you think that, okay, for this particular thing, I have to write it as it is, then you use the double quotation. Or else you just paraphrase it. Anything else apart from it? Organizer? Organizer, I think I'm done with my session. Now there is no other query. I think I'm checking the.
I guess there are no more queries, and we are getting beautiful comments by the participants for your session. So, ma'am, we'll officially close your session. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking this session on a very short notice, and hope the participant learned a lot from you on your topic, which was based on research paper writing skills for the beginners and the ethics related to it. And it was a pleasure having you with us. Thank you so much, ma'am. Hope to see you next time for some other session, some other program. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again to all of you for giving your valuable time for hearing my session. And through my session, if you have get any kind of benefit, that will be like a positive point more for me. So thank you, everyone.
So we will be starting with the second session at 5 o'clock as per the schedule given. So for the second session, we'll be having another resource person, which was not earlier mentioned on the schedule. So the participants can stay tuned, or they can again join at like 4:55. And once again, I would like to request everyone to please be muted once the resource person is speaking. And once he or she has completed the session, you can unmute yourselves and have your queries on board. or in case if the participants wishes to utilize this time and have any queries regarding the assignments, they can have the queries regarding the assignments.
The last date for the assignment submission. Last date for the assignment submission.
Ma'am, the last date for the assignment submission is 12th of May.
Okay, sir. Okay. Noted, sir.
There will be two last dates for the assignments. One for the duty leave, they have to submit it on the 4th of May, and one without the duty leave, they have to submit by 12th of May. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So I just wanted to know about tomorrow. Do we have a session?
No, ma'am. Sunday we are closed. Sunday there will be no session.
रिस्पेक्टेड सर, असाइनमेंट सबमिट के तारीख के फिर से दोबारा कहिए सर।
जी सर, 12 की है असाइनमेंट सबमिशन की डेट। अगर आपका ड्यूटी लीव है नहीं है तो, और अगर आपका ड्यूटी लीव है तो आपकी लास्ट डेट है 4th of May.
ओके ओके सर, थैंक यू सर। मैंने आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट की थी सर, हम मराठी में दे सकते हैं क्या सर?
रजत, इसको किस में देखना है? तो एक बार वो मेरे को कुछ पूछ रहा है असाइनमेंट में।
Evaluate the papers in Marathi, because if you can write in English or in Hindi, no language more than these two languages.
Only English or not Hindi?
Hindi will work out.
Oh yes, okay, thank you sir.
Thank you.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर।
Yes ma'am, please.
हाँ जी सर, ये जो असाइनमेंट के जो आप दे रहे हो, ये कहाँ से आप टॉपिक दे चुके हो क्या आप? मुझे तो कहीं सीन नहीं मिलती।
मैम, आप अपने माई ई क्लास पे जाओगे तो आपको सारे असाइनमेंट्स दिख जाएंगे। अब तो हमने सारे असाइनमेंट्स और प्रोजेक्ट सब डाल दिए हैं आपके। ऑल ओवर 4 असाइनमेंट्स हैं और 1 प्रोजेक्ट है। बस आपका एमसीक्यू बचा है, उसके लिए वी विल बी डिक्लेयरिंग द डेट and we'll be giving the MCQ, because we have changed the format of the MCQ. So by evening after the session, we'll be informing you about the MCQs, and then we'll be placing the MCQ and we'll be giving you certain time to do the MCQ.
Okay, thank you sir.
Any more questions? Any more?
Just repeat what time we reconvene for this week.
Ma'am, please unmute yourself one by one so that it's easy for me to listen.
What time is the next session?
So, ma'am, 5 o'clock.
Okay.
As per the schedule.
Respected sir, provisional certificate मिलेगा हमें?
Sir, after all these sessions will be over, on the 3rd of May, you will be given the provisional certificate, and then after the deadline, which is your 12th of May, then we'll take 10 more days to evaluate, and then after that the certificates will be issued, final certificate.
Okay sir, take.
Provisional certificates will be sent to you on 3rd of May.
Okay sir.
Any more queries? Do we have more queries on assignments or anything if the participants wish to have? I just got an information that the next session will start at 6 and it will go up to 1.5 hours. So we'll officially close this session and then we'll start the session at 5:45.